combining my love for improv and acting and performance and writing and just creativity, I was able to do something unique in this field, which kind of brings me to the theme of this video, and that's, so the other day I put out a short form video where I was introducing random people on the street to aquascaping. What do you guys think about aquascaping? This is aquascaping.
Wait, that's real? That's not AI?
This is aquascaping right here.
They're so cool.
That's cool.
That's artwork. That could be a job though. That's not even a hobby. That's like
It's my
art.
job.
Man.
It's your job.
That's my job. I thought I'd make a video kind of telling you guys the story of how I made aquascaping my job, and I thought I'd kill two birds with one stone and trim this tank while I do it. So without further ado, it's story time. So I got into all this craziness about 8 years ago. I was living with my girlfriend at the time in an apartment, and I kind of suddenly remembered, oh man, I really liked aquariums when I was a kid. I should have an aquarium in my apartment. So I did a little bit of Google research, like kind of how to make an aquarium nice, and I came across the work of Takeshi Amano. And like so many of us, you know, it changed the game for me, and I was like, wow, okay, this is what an aquarium can become. So it very, very quickly consumed my life. I would like lay in bed late at night and watch YouTube videos. I would be thinking about it. I'd be on vacation listening to podcasts. I'm sure many of you can relate. It just totally took over my life and I became consumed with it. And I'm a believer in the fact that if you are passionate enough about something, it's merely a matter of time. It's gonna become a part of your life. And that's exactly what happened. So I was actually eating lunch one day back when I was living in upstate New York, and I was watching a George Farmer video, and he was at Interzoo, and he got his buddy Yuri's in front of the camera, and he's like, Yuri's, why are you not putting out videos? And Yuri's was like, I need a video editor. If you're a video editor, hit me up. So I stopped what I was doing, I stopped eating, and I sent him a message right then and there, and that kind of changed my life. I started working for Yuri's on the side. I was relatively new to video editing, but he took a chance on me, I took a chance on him, and it was amazing. I think when we first linked up, Yuri's had about 4,000 subscribers on YouTube, and together we grew that channel to about 100K. And it was an amazing experience. I mean, Yuri's flew me to Europe, we filmed together, we went to Green Aqua, we went to Belgium together. It was just an amazing opportunity, and in editing these videos, I feel like I became really introduced to what aquascaping can be, because, you know, when you're editing a tutorial, you yourself are kind of consuming the content, and I learned so much. So I was editing these videos and at the same time honing my own aquascaping craft at home. You know, I got my first fully high-tech aquascaping setup, and, you know, it wasn't a very nice scape, but it kind of like got me accustomed to working with the products that I'm so familiar with now. And it kind of got me comfortable setting up a high-tech scape. And then I decided to move to the West Coast during the pandemic, which was one of the scariest decisions of my life, but definitely one of the best decisions of my life. I moved to Oregon, and on that drive, I drove this giant U-Haul that was towing my 2000 Honda Accord at the time. It was so massive driving that thing around, but you get pretty used to it quick. On that drive, I knew, okay, like my next big creative thing is gonna happen when I get to Portland. And I wasn't sure if it was gonna be a filmmaking thing. I wasn't sure if it was gonna be aquascaping related. And then when I was living in Portland, I watched a YouTube video from a creator that I love in the music industry, and he kind of talked about his own personal journey, and I stopped watching that video and I was like, I'm gonna start an aquascaping YouTube channel. I felt ready to do it because, you know, working for Yuri's for so long, I was almost a little bit intimidated, like, wow, this guy's so good. I don't really have these skills, so like, what would my videos be? But by the time I got to Portland, I had this newfound level of confidence, and I also felt like, okay, I have a unique voice compared to like the other creators. I have this background in filmmaking and acting and improv. You know, I kind of want to bring that to the table. That's what's gonna make me stand out. So I made my first video and it was a success. Like I had lots of comments, I had, you know, big creators kind of come out and comment and welcome me in. So I felt very welcomed to the community. And I think that's important when you start something new is, you know, you kind of need those early victories to not be discouraged. Of course, you don't always get that and it's important to carry on, but I'm really grateful I got that early victory. And yeah, I just felt very welcomed. And you know, back then, this was 2021. the bar was a lot lower. Like reels weren't a thing yet. Video and short form content wasn't really a thing. So you could just post pictures and get engagement and earn followers and stuff like that. Totally different ballgame now. In sort of making videos under Logan Rando Productions, which is my production company, all of a sudden this became a business venture. And you know, my aquascapes were tax deductible because, you know, now I'm making YouTube videos that generate income, albeit very little income, but you know, I was able to deduct these expenses and sort of justify the cost. So in doing that, I was able to scape a lot more and invest in new scapes. And that is so important. You know, when you want to get better at aquascaping, you got to get your reps in, right? If you're a boxer, like if you're a dancer, if you're a comedian, you gotta get your reps in. That's how you get better. So I scaped a lot in Portland, and I feel like I entered Portland a pretty below average scaper, and I think I left Portland an average scaper. So that was big progress for me. I get to California, I've got my sponsorship from Boost Plant. Let's backtrack how to get that. So Reels came out on Instagram and they started promoting video heavily. So I scaped a little terrarium, one of the ones that Boost Plant carries, the AQUARIUM iota. And I tagged them in it and it got their attention. They must have liked it and we began our working relationship and this changed my life. All of a sudden, I was able to get access to more supplies. I was able to create paid videos for them. And all of a sudden, aquascaping was a part of my career. So that was exciting. It opened up new opportunities and I was able to become better myself. But this is where things get interesting. So people ask me, okay, how did you make aquascaping your career? Well, it's not my entire career, and that's kind of the crux of all of this, and that's kind of what I want to pass on to you guys today with my own story. And if this helps you, you know, this video is a success for me. I really believe in this day and age, you cannot be a one-trick pony, and I'm not a one-trick pony. So aquascaping is definitely not my entire career. It's a big part of my career right now, but I do so many other things. So over the last 10 years, I have been honing a majority of crafts that I try really hard to put together in these weird little ways that people seem to dig. So as I was getting into aquascaping, I was getting into filmmaking and I was getting into acting, which got me into editing and performance and all these artistic things. So while I was getting better at aquascaping, I was getting better at video creation and editing and short form content, which is kind of an art form in and of itself, right? You have to like hook people and it's gotta be fast paced, it's gotta be funny, or it's gotta be sexy, or you know, whatever. You gotta really hook people. You don't really have a captive audience. So I got pretty good at short form content. But when I moved to San Diego, I started doing a ton of improv. San Diego loves improv, and I've always done it in my acting classes, but I've never done dedicated improv. So I feel like I moved here and I got really, really good at improv. So I was like, okay, this is a tool that I can incorporate into my video content that I believe is really, really unique, that I believe nobody in this field is doing. So I started making little short form skits and sketch comedy videos. And that's what totally changed my social media life. Because prior to making those videos, I was putting out regular content on social media and I was gaining followers very, very slowly. But when I started doing the skits, my social media following 10x'd. It increased so much faster, which I'm incredibly grateful for. And it's opened up all sorts of opportunities for me. So in combining my love for improv and acting and performance and writing and just creativity, I was able to do something unique in this field, which kind of brings me to the theme of this video. And that's you, in this day and age of like AI taking over everything and like companies not really being loyal to employees anymore, I think we really have to be the masters of our own destiny. And if you work in entertainment or the arts like I do, you cannot just be a one-trick pony. Like if you're an actor, you also have to be a writer, a producer, a filmmaker. You know, you can't really just be a video editor, right? You have to be a video producer. You have to be able to do voiceover. You have to be able to come up with ideas for videos. If you're an aquascaper, like you also have to be able to be, you know, really good at project planning and really good at making business deals and really good at sales, right? To acquire new customers. So in the background, I've been kind of developing all of these skills simultaneously, and I've kind of found this little niche within aquascaping that I continue to kind of develop and nurture, and it's paid dividends. Like, my little sketches have gotten me clients who see them and like, hey, your videos are hilarious, but I also really love your aquascapes, and can you come to my, place of business and make something for me? So I want to be really transparent that, like, I certainly don't earn enough income from creating aquascapes to support myself. However, in being a video editor and a video producer and a filmmaker and an on-camera talent and an improv artist and an actor, I'm able to combine all these things and apply them differently to projects and make a living doing this. So yeah, I'm really, really grateful, and this has just been my year. Like, things are finally taking off, and ladies and gentlemen, the journey is not always pretty. So if you're embarking on a journey in the arts or entertainment, like, it's often a very slow journey, and it has been for me. But this year, I think things are finally taking off, and it feels really, really good. So I kind of just wanted to make this video to talk a little bit about my journey and share my experience. And look, everybody's mileage is gonna vary. This is just my story, but I think it is a universal truth that in today's world, you have to be really multifaceted to stand out, because everything is more competitive than ever. The technology is replacing the need for manpower. So you have to stand out as like a brain, right? People want to hire a creative brain, not just a pair of hands, not just a pair of feet, not just a pair of scissors. They want your brain. And if your brain can do something unique compared to ChatGPT or their creative team, then you're gonna stand out. And a good way to stand out is to be multifaceted and not be a one-trick pony. So in developing all these skills, I've been able to turn aquascaping and video and editing and improv and acting into a career. And I'm not absolutely killing it yet, but I can afford to live in the most expensive city in the country, in a humble place, but I can afford it. And you know what, ladies and gentlemen? I don't need that much of my life to be happy. I've got a girlfriend I'm in love with now. That's amazing. I do what I love for a living. That's incredible. I'm safe, I'm healthy. I love this city so much. I feel like it loves me back. I love the weather here. Had a nightmare. I moved back to upstate New York yesterday. That was the scariest thing I've experienced in a while. So what I'm saying is, you have to set your expectations, right? If you're somebody who wants to have 3 kids and support them and your significant other, that's gonna be a little bit trickier right away in the arts. But if you can manage your costs and manage your expectations, and you're patient, and you can stand out, and you can combine skills in ways that your colleagues don't, then if you're anything like me, you'll find a little niche and you'll be able to stand out and make your dreams come true. So I'm gonna finish trimming this tank. I just wanted to share that little story. I'll overlay the results of it when it's done, but let me know what you think of this style of video. Obviously very different from what I used to do, but I just had a few comments where people wanted to know the details of how I made this happen. So I thought I'd share it, and if you think it's cool, leave me a comment, and I don't know, let me know what your hopes and dreams are in this hobby or entertainment and what you're doing to stand out. So thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.